We Geek podcast. Today is Wednesday, March. No, it's April.
No, it's March.
April.
You were
Oh,
right.
it's, you know what? Scratch. Let's start over.
Wednesday, March 9th.
It is Wednesday, March 9th. And as always, I am Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up? And we're just here to give you the weekly geekly news. That just all kind of rhymed together. That's weird.
Thanks, Flanders.
Right, exactly. That really did sound like Flanders. It kind of rolled off the tongue, but yeah, it definitely. But yeah, no. But man, so how's your week been?
It's been nuts.
It's been nuts.
It's been nuts.
I saw you got some movies in.
Yeah, we got some. Well, it's been a while since I've been to. It's been a while since I've been to the theater down here. I'm sorry, I had to do it.
It's been a while.
So we did a triple feature today.
Nice.
And we're going to talk about that. I saw Zootopia, London Has Fallen, and Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of the first two. I haven't heard of Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
The one with Tina Fey.
Oh, okay.
Where she plays a war correspondent.
Okay. I think I might have seen an image or something from that. But
probably.
Not much. Is the Brothers Grimsby out? Or Grimsby? Or whatever?
I think so.
Okay. I want to see that.
Okay.
I'm curious how it's doing horrible on Rotten Tomatoes, though.
Well, Borat was kind of lightning in a bottle-ish.
Yeah.
And it was the problem with everything he made after that was the same thing.
No, see, I disagree. I think the stuff he's been doing now, I like it when he's interacting with people who have no idea that he's not serious. I like that. So when he did Borat, and then he did, what was the other one where he was the gay guy?
Bruno. It was awful. I'm sorry.
Bruno. But I still like those. Holy crap! How are the reaction, the people's reaction to his character?
Nah.
But then he went into scripted comedy, and to me that's when it lost me, because that's when it's like he's just over the top now. He's just being gross to be gross. I liked that real interaction where, especially with Borat, just how racist some people are, just how crazy they are.
That's the thing. That works the first time.
Yes, that exactly.
Yeah. Because
now his face is so recognizable. When someone goes and sees that character coming, he has to really create a completely different character that I don't know. I don't know how you would do that, or maybe I don't know. Maybe he produces something like that now, and he has someone else do it, and he writes it. I have no idea, but that I love I love all the extra stuff coming out of the movie. Like when he went to the premiere with like a handgun and like a Trump hat and like all this wacky crazy stuff. I like that. Like I like what he did at the Academy Awards. Like I like when he gets into that kind of character. I don't know. I'm weird with him. I like that kind of stuff, like D-Olly-G. I would love a D-Olly-G movie where if he interacted with people who don't know who he is.
Yeah, but I mean, with something like that, though, I don't know if you can do, because like if you see D-Olly-G coming, it's like, even people who have no idea who it is will look at that and say, wait a minute, wasn't he a thing?
Right, exactly.
They're at least aware enough of like, oh, this is a bit.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. It is, a nail, what'd you say, lightning in a bottle? I was going to say nail. Jeez, I'm sober, too. I'm
the one drinking tonight. How about that?
Exactly, not drinking tonight. But yeah, so I want to see that, and I want to see Zootopia. We'll talk about it in a little bit. I've heard it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, no, I've been myself, same old working, still in the market looking for a new car. Saturday was a mess doing that, but, I was able, actually I've been sharing a lot of friends and family members. I've been showing them this TV show called, 11/22/63.
Oh, the Hulu thing.
James Franco, yeah, it is Stephen King. Obviously, he was the one who created the story and whatnot. It's produced by J.J. Abrams. I don't know how much he had to do with it, but you could tell there's a lot of J.J. Abrams type stuff in it, and him and Stephen King kind of go hand in hand really well. And it's really good. It's a miniseries. It's 9 episodes. There's 4 out. I'll talk about it in a little bit. I don't think you've not seen any, right?
Not yet, no.
Right, so I'll talk a little bit at the end of the show. No spoilers, of course, just kind of a general idea of what it is. Listen to the Hamilton musical, which was great. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And yeah, just been kind of playing The Division and a game called Stardew Valley on the PC, which I'm kind of excited to talk about. That
Okay.
I hear no one else talking about unless you play PC. If you play PC, that's what everyone's talking about. But yeah, so we'll get into all of that. Oh, and The Walking Dead. Oh my God, we'll talk about that a little bit. That show just it doesn't stop. I think I saw a poll on one of these groups I'm in, probably the kind of funny one, where it was like, "What's your favorite season?" And I thought maybe one would be completely lopsided. I don't mean like season one. I mean like one over all the others. Like I don't know, maybe this season or last season or whatever. There was at least 50 or 40 to 50 votes in each season except for two, of course.
Right.
Right. So it was like, oh crap, like that's right. There are so many good seasons for so many different reasons that it's kind of hard to nail them down. Even I, thinking back, I can't even really distinguish between the seasons because they've all kind of hit on all cylinders.
True.
At least to me. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can pick it apart a lot more better, but it's I think it's rare to get a show that is so well done like that. But yeah, anyway, I digress. But yeah, so it's yeah, that's all I've been doing. Kind of just been nerding out, doing my thing. And let's get into it, man. We got a lot of news. You take the first one.
Yeah, I wanted to put this up top because this is news that I find interesting. I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I'm not a business person. I couldn't tell you exactly what all this means. But I always, especially when it comes to mergers on this scale, AMC Theaters has bought Carmike for a little over $1 billion. Now, this makes AMC the largest theater chain in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And not by an insubstantial amount either. I mean, you have AMC, you have Regal, those are kind of your two big.
Right.
But then, like here we have Marquee, which is really only has a handful of theaters. But, you have your little regional ones, that's fine. But those are the big two. You have you've had what used to be the big three. And then AMC says we want that one. And I don't know, it's easier with something like a telecom company where it's like, oh, AT&T bought DirecTV, or Sprint bought Nextel and all this stuff. Like, you can see the impact that these things have.
Right.
It's easy to point at and say, oh, that means this is going to go to this and this will become that. Aside from okay, so Carmike Cinemas are now going to be AMC, and maybe they get updated seats and sound systems. You can see those kind of improvements maybe, but right. I don't know what this means in a broader sense. And I know there's a couple of people who are producers who listen to this show or getting into that field. Maybe they could explain this a little bit more, and I look forward to your feedback. I will be sending you messages, but I just because I don't know exactly what this means.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm totally ignorant to that. I mean, as a fan level going into a theater, I mean, I'll be honest, I usually always pick AMC around this area just because it does have the bigger screen. It has the better sound, at least in my opinion. I don't know anything else beyond that.
It does.
Right. Better seats and whatnot. But of course, that comes along with the bigger crowds. There's a theater here in Orlando called the Enzion. I'm mispronouncing
Enzion. You're right. I love that place.
Right, yeah, and it's cool because they do different things, and I think it's important to support those kind of local grown theaters.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they do different things. They'll pull old movies. They'll do and they'll have people show up and do Q&As and they'll just have fun stuff to do. So there are the times I go and do that, but when the big blockbusters come out, which is really why most people go to the theaters these days. There's not really a middle ground anymore. Like, you're either going to the theater because it's a huge big movie, or you're going to the theater because you heard how great it was because of the Academy Awards, or like you hear that it's that one, that low key movie. Like, for example, Spotlight. hardly anyone saw Spotlight, and it won the Academy Awards. But that's the kind of film where while it's out and it's getting the buzz, you might go, I'll go to the theater to check it out. Does that make sense?
Right. Well, and that started, that sort of like art house indie film revival started, what's it been, 15 years ago at the Academy Awards, was the first time we had, it was one of the ones that Billy Crystal hosted, and he made the joke. He said, a lot of newcomers here, really new. Like, who are you people?
Right.
Because that was when we got away from, The Godfather and Jaws and Schindler's List and so on.
Right.
Things that, like, oh yeah, I've seen this movie. That was the year we started to get this trend that would lead to The Artist and Birdman and now Spotlight. And, various other, these are just the ones I remember off the top of my head. But now you have, I agree, like there's, when you go for the big movies, you go to the big theaters. Right. And I think that's the thing. The smaller movies, not only do they usually only play in smaller theaters. I know in some markets, some of the bigger theaters will do specials where it's like, hey, and this weekend we're having this or that. I know AMC in particular will do like an Academy Award marathon,
right,
for Best Picture. I think they did that for that this year. But it's very much, you do have a split crowd in that respect. And something else that I think, like where I live, like I said, I've got Marquee down the road. If I want to go, like when I want to go to Star Wars or Batman vs. Superman or something big, something IMAX, I've got to go, the closest thing to me is the AMC down in Charlotte. I mean, that's almost an hour drive. So right. I would go to AMC more often. I've always had better experiences with AMC for the most part, but I kind of like that there isn't one close by, because I've had to keep going to the one locally, and they, right. It's great because like they recognize me there now and everything.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
That's always a plus. But it just
maybe this means that, and hopefully, just not trying to take a cynical route with it, but maybe hopefully this means that the AMC experience that me and you have had, like just maybe smaller towns that might have a Carmike, that where there's not an AMC there and there's a Carmike theater, maybe they'll get that. Maybe they'll be like, oh, okay, wow, this has changed. Like, it's updated theater, updated sound system, updated seats. Who knows? I hope that's what comes out of it. I hope a lot of people don't lose their job and everything else, of course.
Right. I hope this doesn't include a trimming, but that it's just all in. It's like, hey, look, there's a theater here. Let's make it better. Instead of, hey, look, there's a theater here. Let's maybe get rid of it.
Right.
The Marquee down the road from my house. I was talking to my mom about this earlier. I was there all day, and I saw almost literally all day because I did a triple feature. In each of those movies, there were never more than 4 people.
Oh wow.
Myself included. And I'm thinking, okay, I understand, on the weekend it's going to go big, I get it. But what about the weekday crowd?
Right.
Because I mean, even for new stuff, I mean, these are movies that have only been out a week, maybe 2. London Has Fallen came out this past Friday, right?
Right.
And I know it was a Tuesday, it was early, but this wasn't crack of dawn early. This was middle of the day early. And I would think there's, even when I lived in Sarasota or when I was in Orlando, I would go to whichever theater had what I was looking for at that time, and you would still see, like, it could be, noon on a Monday, and there's still 20 people in there.
Oh yeah. There's the people. There's the crowd who just off work that day, the elderly crowd, or like the families. Those are the best days to go for that. You know. Of course, the weekends you can't go to an AMC theater showing if it's relatively new here without expecting a crowd full of people, and sometimes that's okay. I like some movies in a crowd, in the right crowd.
Sure.
Some movies I'm just like, oh god, like I'm with a whole crowd of people I just can't deal with. But it all depends. The trick is, don't go see a popular movie 3 or 4 weeks later when it's it's still going to be full. Seeing Star Wars 3 or 4, 5 weeks later, it's great because we've already seen it, but that's the crowd that doesn't really care.
Yeah.
They got dragged there, and they're just they oh, I heard about this on Twitter. I heard that some great stuff's gonna go down, and I'm just gonna talk throughout it because I'm a funny guy. Like that's the crowd you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I've never even heard of Carmike theaters until now.
Yeah. There's one at
I've been spoiled, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there was one at oh shoot, what's the mall where Gods and Monsters is? It has a Carmike.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I just looked up areas around here and I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's got a Carmike.
It's in Arlington, or no, yeah, that mall.
Yeah, I can't remember.
From me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Arlington or that mall down there is huge.
Yeah. God, that place is massive. Jesus.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It has a Carmike.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, we got some other news. Did you see the trailer for Ghostbusters?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, you didn't like it?
My problem was with the effects. The ghosts looked awful.
Yeah.
That was my biggest thing. I didn't care about it. I was like, oh hey, Ghostbusters. But when they showed the ghost, I was like, my God, these look terrible.
See, I mean, yeah, it looked like a Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah.
The comedy just didn't hit for me in the trailer. It was just kind of what I was afraid of. I don't know. I mean, I'm not that big of a Ghostbusters fan. I get why people love it. Bill Murray was great in it. But it wasn't. Ghostbusters wasn't my thing growing up. I thought it was okay. But I hear the fans too. Like they're just not happy with the way the trailer was. It just didn't come off good, if that makes sense to a lot of them. It didn't make. I'm still gonna go see it. We're still gonna go see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But it just didn't do much for me. Let's see here. What else we got? Is there anything else you wanted to say about it?
No, I think that pretty well covers it.
Right. Did you see the Suicide Squad 2? Will Smith and director David Ayer to return in the sequel?
Yeah, a sequel that I didn't even know we were gonna have.
Right. I guess they kind of spoiled Will Smith's gonna live.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Flashbacks, videos. Like it's not a guarantee anymore. But yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And I mean, come on, it's Will Smith.
Yeah, they're banking on it. I'll be honest, man. Like I've been said, I'm getting more excited for Batman vs Superman the closer we get. So I'm getting really excited. But for the longest time, I've been more excited about Suicide Squad than I have Batman vs Superman.
Oh yeah.
So I'm glad to see that they're doing a sequel. And if it's anything like, because in my mind when I'm seeing the trailers, I'm thinking Guardians of the Galaxy. If it's anything like that, I'm on board.
Yeah, even in the slightest. And I have to think that was part of the decision in the creative process. They saw how well first of all, they saw Marvel was doing a Guardians film.
It mirrors it in almost every way.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. If that makes it a better film, go for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What is it? Flattery is what's the phrase?
Flattery is the greatest. No. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Bingo, yes. And, I think DC said, hey, we have that. We have the Suicide Squad. It's almost built in, we could totally do this. So it's like they're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. And if it's anything like that, I'm going to have fun. I mean, they, like the trailer, everything was just kind of beat for beat, the same marketing and whatnot. So I'm all on board.
I'm down to the 80s music.
Yeah, exactly. Throw in a great 80s rock song and we're in. So, I'm totally on board. Let's see some Baywatch news. David Hasselhoff officially announced to appear in the film for the reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some Twitter, or no, it was on Instagram with The Rock.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, I'm dressed like a lifeguard. I'm like, okay, Rock.
Right, exactly.
Sure.
It's him and Zac Efron, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I saw that was the Grimsey thing or whatever, the Sacha Baron Cohen, where like The Rock posted on Instagram him watching a clip of that. And like he's laughing, and Zac Efron's like, "Oh my god, I can't!" Like that's what I've been seeing a lot from that movie is like him showing it to people and them reacting.
Nice.
Right.
Have you seen trailers for Central Intelligence?
No.
With The Rock and Kevin Hart.
No, I have not.
Oh, when we go on break, you got to go look it up because it looks hysterical.
Okay, we'll do. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember. Wait, it was last year, I think, when we saw. I'll look for. I think I saw the teaser for that. Well, I'll go see it. When we go on break. But
yeah, because I saw that like 3 times today.
Oh, really?
and it was funny every time. That's the thing. Like, I'll go every time I go to the movies and do like 2 or 3 a day. I always see a bunch of the same trailers naturally.
Right.
But one like that, like Central Intelligence, stuck with me. It kept being funny. And I was like, okay, that means I have to go see it. Like, if I've seen this trailer like 6 times now in the past month, and it's still funny, I'm gonna go see the movie.
Did you see the is it Farrah? Jay
yeah.
Farrah on Saturday Night Live?
No.
Okay, you're gonna watch that on our break.
Okay.
He does. Okay, quick story. Cat Williams and Kevin Hart are beefing right now on Twitter, Instagram, whatever.
Really?
I don't think Kevin Hart is taking any of it serious, but you can tell Cat Williams is just batshit crazy. So he's calling him Tigger, like the cat and stuff, and like all of this other stuff, and he's going just crazy. Like you can tell he's a little serious because I think he's a little salty at Kevin Hart's fame. And I mean I can't tell if it's like what do you call it, like WWE, like kayfabe, or like I can't tell if they're being serious or doing it just for promotion for both of them.
Right.
But so anyway, that's been the joke for the last few weeks, and so this guy Jay Farrah, I don't know if he's on SNL or not because I don't watch the show, but he does the perfect impersonation of not only Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, but pretty much most of black comedians for like the last 20 years.
Okay.
He's got Eddie Murphy, he's got Chris Rock, he's got Bernie, he's got all of them in there. It's fantastic, and it's dead on.
Nice.
Because he's like, and then this guy showed up, and then this guy showed up, and then Tracy Morgan came in, and he does the perfect impressions for all of them. You got to see it. It's dead on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Didn't Cat Williams get arrested for something this week?
Yeah, he got in a fight with somebody. Someone, I guess he was shopping, and I think somebody was working. He said someone was working there for like 1 week, saw it was Cat Williams, said something extremely racist to his face, and was like, "I bet you won't hit me." And I guess Cat Williams did.
Yeah.
And got arrested.
Yeah.
So he's ever since he started hanging out with Suge Knight, he really went off the deep end. Like no one wants to work with him now apparently because he's, because he keeps it real. And so like that's cool and all, but when you're trying to do more movies and whatnot, that's why I guess he calls Kevin Hart out because he feels like Kevin Hart's a puppet for the man and all this other stuff. And it's like, hey, he's just doing his thing. He's just making movies and he's making people laugh.
And he's making money.
Right, exactly. Anyone who works for a company or works for, they called him handlers and stuff like that. I just think it's so disrespectful. It's like, look, he's himself, but he's just because he doesn't act the way you want him to act, real or whatever. Come on, get out of here. Well, he's a smart man.
Yeah, and it's like when people would yell at a band or something like, "You sold out." I'm like, yeah,
right.
You throw a decent sum of money at me, like that. Are you kidding?
Right. Exactly, because having money, and I'm sorry to most people, having money is better than not. And that's, I don't understand why no one gets that concept. If I made more money doing what I loved, and these people did, what is wrong with that? A musician suddenly is gone from making a certain amount of money to a lot, or Kevin Hart, he busts his ass to make that much money.
Yeah.
It comes off salty. It really does. Cat Williams hilarious. I love Cat Williams. But it comes off a little salty. It's like, okay, because you don't see him in the movies, and maybe he felt like there's not enough room for a short black guy like that, and that's what he goes after in the videos. Like he says things like that, and it's like, come on, man, like you guys can be in the same world together and not have to be so mad. And that's why I couldn't tell if they were serious or not. Cat Williams sounds serious, but Kevin Hart's jokes about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, don't know. I forgot how I got on. Oh yeah, Jay Farrah. I'll show you the video. Let's see here. We got Star Wars. Did you see they? So it's going to be released digitally on April 1st, on Blu-ray April 5th.
Already pre-ordered.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think that's smart. Man, digital. I wish PlayStation 4 gave us digital games earlier $20 cheaper. I know I guess that would lose a lot of people's jobs and whatnot. But man, I wish they went the same route. You can see films doing it. Film, you're going to be out first, digitally, and then you can buy it later.
Right, but here's the thing. It's weird to say this because it's not technically true, but look at let me put it this way. Look at the difference in used markets. I know, like, I don't want to say there's no used film market because there is, but look at, like, you don't see that as much. Most people just wait until it gets cheaper because they're not terribly expensive to begin with.
Right.
With getting, I know people say $30 for a Blu-ray. Well, wait 6 months and it'll be 20. Get over it. And that's kind of the point.
Well, see, the weird thing is usually movies are the cheapest when they first come out. That's what I found.
Yeah. They do love to run specials like that. But here's the thing. Games take a lot longer to do that, and there's trade-in value. So we may joke there's not much, but it's some. And there's a more, used games is what's keeping physical games going. That's the only reason that there are still a physical game market is because of the used game market. And we're going to keep seeing it for a while because, I mean, look at the backlash from Microsoft, from that E3.
I mean, the way I think about it is we've already run Blockbuster out of business. We've already run most mom and pop DVD stores completely out of business. I don't think I'm going to not sleep at night if Walmart or Kmart lose their section of Blu-rays or DVDs. I really don't think that they might take a hit, but I'm sorry. I would rather pay $20 cheaper to go onto my PlayStation like I did with The Division and get it for $40 instead of $60 because I don't have to pay for the actual physical thing. And I get it. To me, I wish they did that because it looks like film's going that way where you can go and get a movie even early. Like, for example, the whole but the whole thing with Uncharted, they realize we need to make more discs. We're going to delay the game 2 weeks. And it's like, it's already done. Put it live for everyone that wants it on, digital the week it was supposed to come out. There's no reason you couldn't do that, but they want it all to come out at the same time.
Well, so and to all of that, I say one thing: GameStop. GameStop is huge, and that's why. Like, if they lose GameStop, that's gonna have a much bigger impact than I think people think.
Really though?
Yeah.
You don't think people would just go, you know what? Instead of driving to the store, I'll download it like I did.
There's just something about it, man. I agree on the department store front. If that chunk of Walmart disappears, nobody's gonna care, because we're not going to Walmart for video games that much more anyway.
I think GameStop sees on the horizon what's happening. That's why if you ever I walked into GameStop the other day.
Oh, it's all toys.
I couldn't walk around. It's filled with toys and Deadpool action figures and all. I think they see it coming.
Well,
they absolutely see it coming.
And that was why they bought ThinkGeek.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah, it's you can tell. It's and I felt awkward when the guy was trying to give me whatever, and I was like, "No, man, I buy everything digitally."
Yeah.
When I got whatever, and he was like, "You sure you don't want Pokemon's coming?" I'm like, "No, I buy everything digitally." And he's like. And I realized, oh shit, that's bad. So anyway, we'll be right back. We got a lot more to talk about. You're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see y'all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We got a lot more movie news to talk about. We talked about video games there for a second, and just how bad I felt for that GameStop guy, because I realized what I was saying right after it came out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, well.
But yeah, no, so anyway, we'll get into video games in a little bit. We still got movie news to talk about. And I think this, might be a reaction of Deadpool, but Venom is back on the table. Sony reportedly reviving the symbiote-centered spin-off. So it's official now, right?
Yeah, but let's see how it plays. Like, Venom, the whole idea is Venom has to come from Spider-Man. You can't just say, "Oh, people know Venom." No.
Right.
You have to assume the audience doesn't know. You always have to do that. That's why you have to build. You can't just jump into the middle of something and it works. That's why every Batman movie has been an origin film of some point.
Right.
You don't just jump right into the middle of, and here's Two-Face, and there's Mr. Freeze, and here's Hugo Strange, and people are going, who in the hell is Hugo Strange?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't just do that. So if we have to see how he comes from Sony's Spider-Man film, whether it's a mention or a nod in the first one, or if they wait. But you have to come at it through the films. You can't do it through the comics.
Right. Well, what I'm thinking is that, and this is just me brainstorming, is that what I think is going to happen is that it will be sort of mentioned probably in the first Spider-Man film, maybe as an Easter egg or whatever. But I think when the Venom film comes out, it's going to be all about, you know, Eddie Brock or whoever. What's his name? Not Flash.
Flash Thompson.
Flash. So I think that will be their film, the Venom film.
Boo! I already hate it.
Why?
I don't want Flash. I want Eddie Brock. If it's going to be Venom, I want Venom.
No, okay. So, well, I think Eddie Brock's a really dumb character, but I love the Flash Gordon, or not Flash Gordon. What's his name?
Flash Thompson.
Flash Thompson. Jesus, get it together, Adam. All right. So, I liked him way better as Venom, but that's here nor there. I'm just saying I think the Venom film will be about either one of those characters. I think Spider-Man will absolutely be in it, but he will be more of probably he will be maybe not the villain, but he will be the guy going against him, right?
That's what Venom is. When Venom slides off of when that symbiote gets removed from Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert for like 40-year-old comics. And it finds Eddie Brock, it's Eddie's hatred of Peter and the symbiote's hatred of Spider-Man that binds him. That's what creates Venom.
And I think that will be cool. I think it would be a nice twist. It would be a completely new Spider-Man movie if Spider-Man is the antagonist, just from Eddie Brock's point of view.
I would love that.
See it from Eddie Brock's point of view. So we might not see the whole story play out. We just see it from Eddie Brock's point of view, and we're like, holy crap, Spider-Man did him wrong. And then, of course, towards the end, you kind of see, oh, wow, okay, so we just really screwed up. And okay, we see, they'll have that moment. But I think that would be a cool twist if that we see it from Eddie Brock's point of view. They can change the story up a little bit. It can get on to Spider-Man, and suddenly all we have to see is him throw it off of him and him acting funny, and bam, we're into the story. It doesn't need to be this huge setup, and then we go there from Eddie Brock or whoever. And I would like that, if the movie is from Eddie Brock's point of view, and that Spider-Man is the antagonist.
Absolutely, I agree. That would make a Venom movie worth watching.
Right, exactly. And I'm curious if Sony's even thinking about making it a rated R, because the Venom is kind of he's violent.
You could do a PG-13 Venom easy. That's no problem. Carnage, you do rated R.
Right, but doesn't Venom eat people?
Well, that doesn't have to be bloody. And you can tweak that. That could be something you could change, because that has kind of evolved too. It went from eating to absorbing / consuming kind of
That's
thing.
True.
You can get around that.
Just in my head, I thought if they made a rated R movie, that part of the universe would be the rated R stuff, like Venom and Carnage and whatnot.
But you don't because Venom plays big in continuity. Venom is a big Spider-Man villain.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think you can have him in a standalone R-rated film and then try to reincorporate him in a PG-13 way.
Right.
I don't think that works.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It doesn't have to go there.
I just want him to be a solid character, because I if you look at the Fox Saturday morning cartoon, Eddie Brock is such a terrible character. He is. He's awful. But if you flesh that out, if you expand everything that Eddie went through comic wise, you can really do something with that, or trash that entirely and make him an amalgam of a couple different characters. I'm okay with that.
That's why I liked Flash so much. It was a man who went, he picked on Peter Parker, but then he turned that around. He went to war. He lost his legs, and then when he gets this suit, he gets this Venom suit. it makes him whole again to him. And like to me that's a little bit more interesting than, you know, it seemed like when they made Eddie Brock, he was the photographer that was just the mirror to Spider-Man, and that the Venom was the mirror to and just it to me it didn't play well. But again, if they make his character interesting and they make it good, of course I'd be on board. That's the only reason why I was saying Flash would, because I just think that's really such a cool dynamic.
I agree. I agree that Flash's arc is much better because, like you said, he has all that history and personal trauma, and there's. I agree. He is a better character. Full stop.
Would you get upset if they did Flash's story, the character story, but with the Venom situation happening to him instead of... Okay, that's what I was wondering, if fans would be, like, furious over that.
Because that the symbiote takes on... It enhances some of those characteristics. And we saw, you know, in parts of the last Venom comic with Flash. Right. The symbiote is still kind of a wild alien thing, but it's become more tamed the longer it latches onto Flash. It absorbs some of his goodness, for lack of a better term. Right. When it's attached to Eddie, that's what makes it a monster. That's what makes it a beast. That's what makes it such a force.
Okay,
so
I can see that.
Yeah, you can't say we're gonna have Venom from the Eddie Brock days, but we're gonna use Flash Thompson. No, that does not work.
Okay, just curious. All right, we got some Bad Boy 3 news. Sony announces June 2nd, 2017 release date for the film.
Hooray. I'm just not interested. I'm just not.
Yeah. Did you see, let me see if I can pull it up right here. Did you see the 22 Jump Street Men in Black?
Oh yeah, they announced that's genuinely going to be a thing.
Yes, that is just crazy enough to work.
Yeah, but the Russos aren't doing it though.
Oh, they're not?
No, because they're working on Avengers.
Oh yeah, that's right. They've got to get this. I'm in. I'm absolutely in to see that. If you told me Men in Black 4 was coming out, I wouldn't be that excited.
No.
If you told me Men in Black 22 Jump Street crossover's coming out, I'm in the theater.
I'll go see that. That's because it is just crazy enough to work.
That is just, yeah, exactly. So I definitely want to check that out. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Apparently pictures of Sylvester Stallone are heading to set and film sparks casting rumors. So what do you think of that?
I don't know, you know. I don't really know if rocking in space could work, you know. But like, I'm trying to do new things with the characters, so I don't know. I think it could work.
It's a good impression. It's like they're trying to get all these hard, grizzled actors.
Hey, you know what? Him and Kurt Russell, sure, why not?
It's like all the actors you'd probably meet at a truck stop.
Yeah.
And the guy from Sons of Anarchy. Seriously, it really is. Like, James Gunn is like, how do we get all of these grizzled, manly men here, you know, to interact with the raccoon and, and Chris Pratt? Like, it's kind of weird. But
wait a minute. So this one's a raccoon, and that's like a talking oak tree? What did I sign up for here? What happened?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm curious who he'd play.
Yeah, right. Could you imagine if it was him and not Kurt Russell that plays his dad? Jesus.
God, that would be crazy.
Oh.
My dad's Rocky? Like, it'd be funny if they make that reference. And he's like, what are you talking about? You look like Rocky. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
He would have to. He would absolutely have to. Oh, my God.
Wouldn't that be great if he just referenced it that the whole time? He's like, look, Dad, you look just like this guy Rocky in a movie on Earth that I watched as a kid. He'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That would be perfect. I love when movies do that, when they play with stuff like that.
And then you have a scene with them, and they're talking with some of Yondu and his crew, and one that Star-Lord knows walks by, and he's like, "Yo, Adrian!"
Right, exactly.
And just like a raise of the eyebrow or something like that, you know, and just kind of go from there. Just goofy stuff. That'd be fun.
Yeah, exactly. I love that kind of stuff. We got some sad Sandman news today. Eric Heiserer?
Sure. I couldn't figure that one out either.
Right. Remake of The Thing and Nightmare on Elm Street is attached to write the upcoming film. Joseph Gordon-Levitt leaves the project.
Yeah, and I mean, that was like day one, day two.
Right.
Like we're like, hey, we've got a writer, and then it was like, bye. I was like,
Right.
whoa, what happened here?
Right. Yeah.
And
Man.
JGL has been very, as he left, it was very classy, wish you all the best, blah blah blah, so on and so on. But man, I don't know if I want to see this now without him attached, because he was hardcore on this, man.
Right.
This was his baby, and now he looks at it and he says, I don't want anything to do with this.
Right.
That's, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want this anymore.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. So, I wasn't that big of a Sandman fan to begin with. Well, of course, we'll probably still go see it anyway. But that's sad news. I know a lot of people were really liking him into it. But we got some good news this week.
Yes, I love this news.
You take it.
Yeah, we got some Justice League news. They have cast Lieutenant Gordon for at least for Justice League Part 1, so far as we know. And he's going to be played by J.K. Simmons.
Awesome news.
I love that news. That's awesome news, indeed.
And I read a rumor, and this is, I guess this can't happen because from what it was obviously this is now null and void, but from what I thought that in this Batman vs Superman universe that James Gordon was possibly dead, and so this means he's not. He's in, Batman he's in the Justice League movie. That's good.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. And this was a rumor I read maybe it was a year or so ago. So it was just what people were, thinking around, I assume.
Well, because he's not in the Batman verse. You'd think a Batman film, you've got to have Jim Gordon.
Exactly, and that might have been one of the casualties in the war with the Joker and whatnot. So
right.
This is great news.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm totally in with that. That's perfect casting. I thought Bryan Cranston would be pretty good, Jim Gordon too.
He could do that really well.
He'd be dead on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, when this came out, I was like, perfect. He's definitely not going to be in Spider-Man.
yeah, that's too bad. Well, maybe they'll get Ice Cube to do it.
Right? Did you see that? I thought that was.
You know what? I don't care. Go for it. I think Cube could do it. I really do.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking of maybe someone posted it, but I forgot. But it definitely made me think about him in 22 Jump Street, like him talking to Peter Parker like that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, get these damn photos. Like, it'd be great. Yeah, why not? Let's see here. We got some Predator news. Arnold Schwarzenegger says he has a lunch meeting scheduled with director Shane Black. It basically started rumors that he might appear in the film.
I'd be all right with that. Sure, why not?
Is this like a reboot?
We don't know what it is. So right. It could just be a sequel that kind of ignores that ignores the reboot and maybe just like a winking reference to the actual sequel.
Gotcha.
Maybe just kind of a thing of like, yeah, there was a cop that ran into one of these things too, I heard.
Yeah. Oh man, I liked the second one. I really did.
Yeah, I know.
I think maybe me and 3 other people. I thought it was cool.
That's about it.
Yep. The Mummy got 2 more potential victims with Annabelle Wallace.
Wallace, I think, yeah.
Wallace and Jake Johnson.
Okay, so they're going to be chased by the creature that is hopefully not played by Tom Cruise.
Yeah, we don't even know. They're just in the film, so
yeah.
There we go.
Okay, sure.
Let's see, we got a few minutes here. Let's kind of jump around. Did you see that apparently Chris Pine's movie The Finest Hours is going to cost Disney about $75 million.
Well, nobody went to see it. Like, those are, like, historical fiction things like that are great, but you can't make them on a huge budget. They're not going to have a big audience. They're just not. Yep,
exactly. Animated Ghostbusters movie finds its director, Fleischer Moles. Not sure how or what he's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't really been following this project, so I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly. Batman, Superman, and Civil War are going to be really long. Batman, Superman, 151 minutes. Civil War, 146.
2.5 hours.
Yes. To compare, Deadpool is around 106 minutes.
Yeah, like that's a good length. I think 2 hours is pushing it. 2.5, like it better be packed, and it better pace, and it better move.
I think they know this is the big one. This is the one where you're going to have the entire universe in it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll get back. We're pretty much out of the movie. Just one more thing, and then we'll get into TV. But you're listening to We Geek Podcast on N.FM, and we'll see y'all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we looked at a few things over the break. What did you think of Jay doing Cat Williams
and every black comic? Yeah, I loved his Chris Tucker. His Chris Tucker was ridiculously on point.
Yeah, I thought his Kevin Hart was just when he goes the bang bang bow and it's just perfect.
Yeah.
And the trailer for that movie actually looks really good. The Rock fat was hysterical.
I love how it's like they just transplanted his character from what was the Michael Bay movie that he did with Marky Mark?
Yeah, the one where they work out or whatever.
Yeah, God, I can't remember what it was called. But like it was that kind of character. Like, this is a dude who is just I don't know what to tell you. Like,
well, honestly, you know what I thought of when I was watching it? It's the Will Smith Carlton team.
Yeah.
Of like the guy who's hip, he's in on it. You know, he's cool, and then you have the nerdy guy who's like, nah, I don't want to do that. Like that kind of
exactly.
That kind of friendship or whatever. And I liked how towards the end they kind of flipped it on its head. And they're like, wait, you were cool in high school and I was not cool. I was fat or whatever. I didn't look like The Rock then.
That was kind of frightening because of how they CGI'd his face on there.
Yeah, it looked weird.
It doesn't fit the head.
No, it doesn't. Pain and Gain's the movie.
Pain and Gain, thank you.
Yeah, it just didn't look right. It looked like The Rock and Scorpion King.
Yeah.
I got flashes of that when I saw it. Oh yeah. But we'll get into some TV news. But real fast, you see the movie news? Chewbacca is going to be in the Han Solo standalone film.
Well, duh, you can't have Han without Chewie.
Well, see, I didn't know if this was going to be his story before that. No one knew. So,
well, actually, they said it was only going to be a few years before A New Hope.
Okay, that's true. You're absolutely right. Okay, I don't know why I didn't think about that, but yes, that is awesome. That's going to be cool. Maybe it's the story of how he gets Chewie, like he rescues him or whatever. It happened in the comics or in like old EU.
Well,
like he rescued Chewie because Chewie was a slave.
Well,
right?
And because in the comics now, isn't Kashyyyk still a slave world?
It is, yes.
Didn't they talk about that? Yeah.
Yep, and Chewbacca had like a life debt to him, so like he went with him and helped him because he saved him. So from what I understand, Han Solo, I could be completely wrong, was in the Imperial Academy and whatnot, and he was a TIE fighter pilot, and that's when he escaped. When he got Chewie, he ran off. So I hope I'm not spoiling what they're planning on doing, but
and that was, again, that was old EU, so
that's true. Yeah, so we'll see. But we got some TV news to talk about. Besides Shane O'Mac returning. Jeez.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead. You take the. Did you like that Shane was there?
Yes, I didn't. No, I did. I didn't watch last night, so I don't know what happened, or Monday night, because we're recording this Tuesday, but I have to talk like it's Wednesday. Right. I didn't see it Monday night, but last week, man, when they're in the middle of this whole big thing, and Stephanie's giving that speech, and then Shane's music hit, I was with the crowd, and I almost went through the roof. I love Shane.
Do you think he's gonna beat the Undertaker?
I think so, and I think it's going to lead to a reinstatement of the brand extension. What
does that mean?
Okay, that was back when, early 2000s, when Raw was its own show with its own champion, when they had two titles.
When I kind of dipped off. That's the time when I stopped watching.
And I hear a lot of people say that. I loved the brand extension just because it made SmackDown relevant. Because it was its own show with its own stars. Like, there was almost no crossover.
Is it right now? What is the second show again? SmackDown. Why did I think it was Thunder? That was at WCW.
That was yeah.
All right, so SmackDown. Isn't it the B series though? Is it still that?
Well, it's the B show, but it still has, like, you still find the same superstars on SmackDown.
Oh, really?
And that's part of why I think its ratings are so bad, is because they, like, I don't watch it, and I don't miss anything just watching Monday night to Monday night. Okay. You miss nothing.
Gotcha.
So, I hope that they do that and Shane takes control of Raw, which pushes Hunter to take control of SmackDown. So then you have two different shows, two different sets of superstars, two different championships. I want to see, and I've heard rumors, and I hope this is very true, they are trying to revive the Cruiserweight division. I want that more than anything because that was awesome. I was a huge fan of the Cruiserweights, and I was sorry to see them go.
Right, so like, yeah, okay, so I could see that. Maybe, the Friday night, why do I keep thinking Thunder, SmackDown, maybe it turns into kind of like an NXT type of show.
Nah,
like,
you've got NXT for that.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, you said you like that kind of show. I don't know.
Different. Go back to how they did it in the brand extension. The brand extension you had your own champions.
So what's the deal if he wins? Sorry.
If Shane wins at Mania, he gets control of Monday Night Raw. And Vince made a whole big speech when Shane proposed this about how Raw is the flagship show and whoever controls Raw basically controls the company, and which is very true. And that's kind of my point with all this, is that Raw is kind of all that's necessary.
Okay.
Where we are right now. That leads to the pay-per-views. I still call them that, even though you don't have to pay for them anymore.
Right.
Well, pay-per-view channels, they know what I mean. But I hope that he wins because then it splits. And then you say, well, hang on. Raw, now SmackDown becomes relevant because you can only see this group of superstars on SmackDown.
Right.
And I want him to go back to that. I like that. And I think it made it better. It made the product better because then you weren't having, like, you see the same story on Monday that you see on Thursday. It's the same thing. It's the same superstars. Nobody gets that extra boost. Mm-hmm. And now you can have that. And you can have these shows compete with each other. I think that's I hate to say this. I think that's what's best for business.
God.
I know, I had to. But, like, look, you couldn't see... There was a time where, Brock Lesnar was only on SmackDown. Big Show was only on SmackDown. Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, Billy Kidman, all these guys were only on SmackDown. And then, on Monday Night Raw, you had Kane and Triple H and Shelton Benjamin and Shawn Michaels. You had almost kind of an older guard on Raw than you had on SmackDown for a lot of the most part. But you had different stories. You could have you didn't have it wasn't crowded. You had two completely different shows. Same product, but different shows, different stars, different titles.
Right.
And I'm all for that. I look forward to that. And it's not developmental. It's not saying we're going to bring these guys up to give them a chance, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, here's somebody that should be established. It should have gotten a push, and now they've got room for it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because now you can have they can shine on that and have their own storyline.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to compete with the big dogs.
Exactly.
That are going to, headline Raw. No, that makes sense. That's actually that's a really good thought process for that. Did you hear that WrestleMania is going to be in Orlando next year?
Yes, I did.
You need to go. You need to come. We should go.
Dude, if I could afford one of those tickets,
how much do you think they're going to be for like nosebleed section?
I don't even want to guess.
I want to do it. I really do. My first wrestling match. I want to go to WrestleMania in Orlando.
Hey, and I'm telling you, man, go to NXT. You want a real, a solid experience? Go to NXT.
I don't know why I don't.
I don't either. Like, there were times when I was down there, I was in the school, I got tickets for free, and I didn't go every time they taped. And it wasn't. Sometimes it was class. I just couldn't get out of class to go see it. Boo, that sucks. But, the times I didn't go, I went to a couple, but I should have gone to all of them. I don't know why I didn't, because the times that I did go, I had a ridiculous amount of fun. It is a crazy atmosphere when you've got, there's, a couple hundred people. It's not a big show. It feels like a local independent show. And they put it on like that. They let this talent go out there and do their thing and hone their craft, and that's what makes it great. That's why Kevin Owens is so huge right now, because he was big in NXT. It's why Neville got a huge pop before, I don't know what happened to him. You get to see all these guys, and you get to see them come up. So when you see him debut, you're like, oh my God, it's The Shield, and people are like, who are these guys? I'm like, watch them. They're going to be awesome. You know, you have Sami Zayn comes out every once in a while, and they're like, holy crap, who is this guy? He's ridiculously dynamic. He's charismatic. I know, I've been watching him for months. You got to see this guy.
Mm.
Go to an NXT taping. I'm telling you, it's so worth it.
Yeah, no, I follow Mick Foley's daughter on Twitter.
Yeah.
Gorgeous, and I see she goes to like almost all of them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, God, I need to go and say hi, wave awkwardly from across the arena.
Yeah, right.
Like, I follow you, but on Twitter, not creepily.
Yeah, that's not creepy.
Yeah, no, oh man, I definitely should go. Yeah, I've convinced most of my friends to go, but you know how that works.
Yeah.
10 of them say they want to go, and then 6 months later, when it comes down to buy tickets, you know, half of them still are interested, and then when I tell them the ticket prices, 2 of them are like, okay, I'm still on board, and then maybe one of them goes.
Oh yeah, but man, NXT ticket. What's an NXT ticket? Like $20?
Yeah, so I can imagine WrestleMania.
Probably,
Like $500 at least for a cheap one?
I would say 3. For
3?
I mean, like if you're talking top, like, you know, somebody get a telescope to see the ring. 2, 3 maybe.
See, I could do that. That's a year from now. I could totally do that.
Yeah, well, they go when they go on sale. They're worse than Comic-Con tickets.
That's the thing. Is that we've talked about that. Is like we have to nail down. Like, when it's coming out, we have to make sure we have all our money and we buy it immediately.
Yeah. I mean, they sell out, especially, like, they were selling out in under 5 minutes before online ticketing was huge.
Right.
That was how crazy it was. Like, the line, they would go to the lines and just be like, all right, here's the sign. The line ends here. We have no more after this person.
Right.
Like,
it might be one of those things where we have to, I don't know, stand out in front and scalp.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But, okay. Well, that's our wrestling segment. We'll be back to talk more TV. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got a lot more news to talk about. Let's kind of dive into some TV news here. Actually, you take the first one. I know you like this.
Yeah, let's start the TV.
Yep.
But yeah, because we got off on the Shane O'Mac topic because Ian McShane has been cast as Wednesday in Star's upcoming American Gods series.
Awesome. What do you think about it?
I think that's fantastic casting. I think it's tremendous.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I totally see that. I'm looking at his face right now, and I could totally picture that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Did you see this Training Day news?
Yeah, this was interesting. Yeah, Katrina Law is cast as, I guess, the lead opposite Bill Paxton.
Okay. She's
gonna play Detective Rebecca Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure, why not?
Yep. Yeah. So, is Bill Paxton playing like the corrupt cop?
I don't know exactly.
See, I thought, yeah, that's
Maybe?
what I thought they were doing. We'll see. This is kind of one in those weird, why do we have a Training Day TV show? Why do we have...
Well, because Rush Hour starts in 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. See, it's like, why do we have a Cruel Intentions? Why do we have a Rush Hour? Why do we have a Training Day? Like, it's got into the weird area where it's like we're making TV shows about movies that don't even need a sequel.
Right.
It's like, what are we getting out of this? God, do something new and original. Or weird. Like, I don't know. There's so much out there to tap into that hasn't been created into anything yet. Into a movie. I'm sorry, a book that hasn't been made into a movie or TV show. Do something like that. We're getting Training Day, the TV show, before we're getting Name of the Wind. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right. I could just do an hour of just that. Like.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. We're getting Cruel Intentions, the TV show, instead of that. Like, God, like, it's. I don't get excited when I hear like. I don't get as excited when I hear like Legends of the Hidden Temple, the TV movie. That's cool, but this is not. All right, we got some Hey Arnold news. 2-part TV movie, The Jungle Movie, officially greenlit at Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
So it's going to be called The Jungle Movie?
That's what they're calling it.
So like they're not going to be on the stoop anymore and they go to the jungle?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes. As we reported last week, they casted Iron Fist. Rumors suggest Netflix show will also include Shang-Chi.
Sure. I mean, that just kind of makes sense, really.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it totally should.
Now, I'll give people this. If Shang-Chi is white, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about what we were talking about last week, and I guess I would totally be cool with them if they did the mixed race, like half Asian or whatever, half white. But I don't know. I started reading some articles, and I guess a lot of people were getting really upset that it was the type of story was like white guy goes to Asia, does what they've been doing for years better. And I didn't think of it like that.
I
And that's a trope, I guess, of like 80 films and 70s exploitation films and stuff.
Right, sure. The whole, like, the white savior idea. Avatar did it.
Right.
Dances with Wolves did it. Like, it's a thing that's been around forever. Pocahontas, my God. But,
right.
I understand that concept of it. But I think that they can use this as a vehicle to look at that. And I think if they add Shang-Chi to this, it provides a kind of balance.
Yes,
not just a racial balance or a cultural balance, but a narrative balance where you can say, hey, look, and show, look, Danny Rand is not going to be perfect. He's not going to go learn this martial art and suddenly become the greatest in the world.
Right, exactly. There's a story there, and I hope that the what they do in the show, I hope that the interactions and the relationships they have in the show, and to me, I guess I just saw it with the eyes of, I see this as diversity. I see this as, you see Danny interacting with a lot of people who are not white, and so that those relationships and how they interact, and I want that to be more important than the casting of him.
Right. I mean, there is a certain responsibility, particularly now, with casting. But let's remember, you can take this and make it relevant.
Right.
Look at what they did with Kilgrave.
Right.
Look at that relationship with Jessica Jones and how it was such a strong allegory for all sorts of domestic issues, all of this trauma, and it wasn't just, oh, hey, he's a horrible person. It was so much more than that. It was so nuanced, and it was creepy as hell.
Right.
I mean, they nailed it. They absolutely nailed that. So I have tremendous faith in them to do something that really works when it comes to this.
Right. Exactly. And then bingo. And I hope that's more important. And I guess I didn't see it from that point of view, but I'm really excited. This is a series that almost wasn't, and it shouldn't be. Like, the fact that we're getting these shows on Netflix, if you would have said that 10 years ago or 5 years ago, or I guess it was announced not too long ago, but if you said this like 6, 7, 10 years ago, I would have been like, you're crazy. It's not going to happen. That's so far-fetched and so, oh yeah, that makes sense. I wouldn't have believed it. It's the fact that we're getting these alone. And this Iron Fist was an if. They were talking about, instead of doing Iron Fist, maybe doing Punisher or something. So I'm glad that it's getting made. I'm glad it's going to be there. And I just hope that what happens in the show, the interactions and the story, a year from now is what people are talking about, and not the casting of the actor.
Right.
That's playing him. And apparently they did see a lot of Asian actors doing it. They just thought that guy was the best guy. So I have faith in Marvel. They haven't done wrong to me yet. When I've seen their films, they've been dead on with their character representation. And just bring it from the comic book to the movie, they've been dead on, and they have been diverse. I mean, look at Samuel L. Jackson. I loved that they picked that version of Nick Fury instead of, the one who looks like David Hasselhoff.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, because they did a version with Hasselhoff. Remember that god awful TV movie that nobody wants to talk about?
Exactly. Yeah.
But
so
yeah, and what, the second Iron Man movie has War Machine. I mean, come on, like that's. That, I mean, they jumped on that right out of the gate. My biggest problem with with Marvel's diversity is that Groot is not a pine tree. That's my biggest problem, because that's the position I can come from with this. Look, I love what they've been doing, and I think they have enough on the ball. They knew this was going to stir up some trouble, because people don't know. But I also think that they are fully capable of using this as a teaching tool through media.
Yeah, exactly. Because I looked a little bit more into the story of Danny Rand, and his father was kind of what a lot of people think the story is about, and he's really not. He's apparently orphaned. It's a lot like Batman, where he's orphaned. He has to learn this, this kind of way of life and whatnot, and he doesn't just kind of stumble into it. Like he busts his ass and he forms these relationships. Because like I think I said it last week, I don't know much about Iron Fist except for when he's already Iron Fist.
Right. Right.
And that's why I know more about him and Luke Cage and whatnot. And I saw that relationship, and I thought that's really cool. Like we need more of that. Like and so I want more stories like that where. And so when I heard all this stuff, I was like, "That's weird. Why are people getting upset?" So yeah, so I don't know. I hope it's good, and I have faith that it will be, because oh man, dude, Daredevil is what, 2 weeks away?
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait. Did you see? And we'll just jump to that real fast.
A week. 18th. 18th, yeah.
18th. Did you see the picture of the Punisher?
Oh.
Yep. So yeah, not this Friday, but next Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows him with the skull, and it's exactly what I want.
There you go.
Yep, it is exactly what I want. I was curious how they were going to do it, and I'm glad they picked that design.
They did it.
Yep. Go look, Google it, YouTube it, Facebook it, Twitter it. It's probably on Game Boy Advanced website. Just check it out. All right, where were we at? Okay, Scalped. You take this.
I love this, and I know we're going to talk about this, because they are doing and this was one when we were doing Comic Book of the Week. We did this.
Right.
This was Jason Aaron's big Native American crime story, and it was fantastic. And I understand your apprehension with this. We're going to talk about this. It has been ordered to pilot. What's the guy's name here? Doug, and I'm going to say Young, because I think that's how that's pronounced. Who was a writer for Banshee for a couple episodes, is gonna write and executive produce the pilot. It's coming to WGN America. Now, go.
Yeah, that doesn't excite me. I haven't seen a thing from WGN America since, I don't know, watching Family Matter reruns.
And I understand that, but look at some of the stuff they're developing. Manhattan has kind of a cult following for the same reason that nobody knew, like, what network is this on? Like, you're telling me this
is my fear, is no one's going to watch this. This is like saying, it's like if Marvel was like, I don't know, we're going to do a Venom movie, but it's going to be on a play in Vermont for 3 weeks. Yeah. And it's going to be canon, but we're excited for it. But unless you live in Vermont for those 3 weeks, you're not going to see it. It's like the Harry Potter play. Everyone's getting a book now, but imagine if they just said, "This is canon. Here's the play. If you don't see it, well, sorry." That's how I feel about WGN. I hope I'm wrong. I hope.
Well, but I mean, here's the thing. Everybody gets WGN America, though.
I can't tell you what channel it is on my TV.
But you get it. I'm sure you do.
Is it the one that has the TV guide below it?
No, that's Pop. That's where TNA Impact is.
God. That's what I'm saying. That's what this is to me.
But look, I like the idea of WGN, because, like, look at Christopher Maloney's doing that new show Underground, about the Underground Railroad.
I don't know anything about that.
And that's on WGN America, and it looks good. Like,
but that's my point.
But I mean, look,
I'm the kind of guy that watches a lot of television, and if I don't even know where that's at, what is that going to say to their audience they're trying to capture?
Right, but look at how many. I mean, FX started like that, and look where it came to.
But FX has, I don't know.
Now?
No, don't get me wrong. Of course, any channel, Netflix was not anything before it started getting some television. Yeah. Like you said, FX, AMC, of course.
Yeah.
This could be their Walking Dead, of course, but I have reservations until I see it.
Oh, really? Really? We're talking about Scalped, and you're gonna make a reservations joke.
I didn't
Shame on
even
you.
make that. I didn't
Boo.
even that one. I usually mean to make puns. I didn't even make that to you.
Yeah.
Then you made a big deal about it. And then I thought, what did I just? Okay. Okay.
I understand your apprehension. I do, but I think this is the beginning. Let me backtrack. This could be the beginning of sort of a rise for them. Is it likely? Let's be honest. No.
I hope it is, but it was
possible.
one of those where like that would have been great on AMC.
Yeah, but I mean I agree. Preacher and Scalped are very similar in a lot of ways.
Right.
And I think they would play really well together. But oh well.
Maybe they were too much alike, where they were like, this one could feed into the other one.
Sure, because
we have Badlands, and Badlands, by the way, just got renewed for a second season.
Right.
I need to catch up with that because I did like the first few episodes I saw.
But I mean, that's I don't know.
Yeah, AMC has just kind of turned into this comic book television show that has nothing. It's like oh god, it's like Image Comics, the television show or the station.
Yes, thank you. I've been looking for a great analogy for AMC for the longest time. That is perfect.
Yeah, it's Image Comics, the television show.
Yes.
And that's perfect. It's great because it's good writing, it's good stories. Robert Kirkman's attached to a lot of it, and it's perfect. Yeah, no, oh god, man, it just, I don't know. I can't. Oh, I forgot my train of thought there.
That's all right. You're good.
No, it's just I really wish that it was on a channel like that. Is all I'm trying to say. But yeah, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I hope that it's I hope it's good. I really wish they would do like Powers or something. Not Powers. What's a superhero what's Robert Kirkman's? Invincible, yes. I really wish they would tackle that. I think if anyone could do that right, it would definitely be AMC. Maybe Netflix. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
His relationship with AMC probably would go to that because that's like his second baby.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Let's see here. We got Fringe star Anna Torv.
Torv, I think you were right first.
Joins Netflix. Their show Mindhunter. Have you heard of this?
I haven't heard of it.
I haven't either. But apparently that made the neuse. So
we haven't heard of this show on Netflix, but we've heard of this show on WGN America.
Right, exactly. I guess it's based off of a book during his 25-year career with the Investigation Support Unit. Douglas persuades some of most notorious serial killers from our time, including Ed Glynn, blah, blah, blah. So I guess some serial killer drama.
Okay.
Yeah. So there we go. Did you see the new Game of Thrones trailer?
I haven't seen it, no.
What?
I haven't been home today.
You're watching that on our break.
Okay, I'll do that.
It was big.
Is it big?
Yeah, it kind of reveals some things.
Well, there's a surprise.
I think. Yeah. Well, it doesn't, but it asks questions. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. But yeah, we'll talk about that when we get back from the break. Not taking a break just yet though.
Have you on a completely sideways related note, have you seen the picture of somebody has stacked all of the A Song of Ice and Fire books, and they have a post-it sticking out of everywhere they've marked where a character dies?
No.
They had to use different color post-its because they kept running out.
Wow, that's funny. That's crazy. My favorite image of him is George Railroad Martin rolling in a big ball in the field, like a big plastic ball. You know, the ones that like people get in and they just roll around?
Yeah.
And he's just having a great time. He's just laughing because he's not writing the book you want him to write. He's doing everything but write that book. And it's funny because anytime I see that picture on the internet, so many fans are pissed off with they're like, this son of a bitch is doing everything but writing that book. He's having fun in a field. He's rolling around. He's eating chocolate. He's watching the TV show instead of actually writing the book. Did you hear, though, apparently there's going to be a huge twist in the book that is not in the show.
Good.
A major twist, so I guess they're going to be switching a lot of stuff up. And that's perfect. Hey, you guys saw the show, read the book because it's different.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Yep. It should take a different path. Totally agree. All right. We'll get out TV news in just a second. Did you see that the 80s, 90s TMNT cartoon show characters, because they have the letter of their name on their belt, are heading to the new TMNT show?
What?
Yes. Apparently the current stock of, and not just them, the voice actors as well.
Well, because Paulson's been on both.
Yeah, he's doing both. He's doing both the voices for, I don't know, what is it, Donnie and Rolf or whoever?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I saw a picture of the old cast, including Krang.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, with the new cast or whatever. And so apparently the new show goes to the old show, and then they come back. And like they joke around they're in the old 80s 19 cartoons world, and they're like, well, we can get you back to your time, and then they just press a button on a device and it opens up a portal, and they're like, but how did you do that? And he's like, I don't know, I just have this device Donnie made. So like they jump into the future, and then the 80s, and it looks like the 80s 19 cartoon show, and then they jump into the current one, and then the 80s 90s jump in as well, and they're 3D models of those characters.
Oh, they're updated. Nice.
Updated. He's like, Donnie, what's going on? We look 3D-dimensional. He's like, well, it's 2-dimensional, just +1. And they're like, oh, like he had explained that science. Yeah, and they're like, they're talking, they're interacting with their other characters, and they see a pizza place, and they're like, well, let's go there. Let's get some cheese pizza. And they're like, you can't go there. They're like, why not? In our world, we eat pizza all the time, and we hang out at the parlor shop or whatever. He's like, we don't do that here. We're like ninjas and stuff. I'm like, more realistic about it. They're like, you can't just do that. We can't go in there. And they have like the letter of their name on their belts and all the whole 9 yards. Their eyes look like the 90s ones and whatnot.
Nice.
The voices are dead on too. It was really cool. So yeah, I guess they're coming back for an episode. I know that before they did a flash real fast, and it showed the cartoons and whatnot, all the different generations.
Okay, sure, why not?
So that's how in the TMNT universe they have dimensions. All of the representation, all the shows that have ever happened are different dimensions, kind of like the Flash with different universes.
Oh, so if they don't call this episode Turtles in Time, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, that's what it was in season 1 or season 2, and they actually showed images of the live action TV show.
Oh my god!
Turtle, yeah, it was really funny. So I love that they're playing around with that. All right, so let's get into video game news.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go, Niantic Labs GDC panel about Pokemon Gold canceled in order to focus on getting the product ready for beta tests at launch. They kicked over, apparently, their booth. It caught on fire. Everyone was upset. Just kidding. No. They just canceled it. But that's how I felt inside when I found out they canceled it.
But I mean, that's, I hate it, but I understand. They're like, look, we wanted to come and talk to you about it, but instead we're going to focus on making it.
Well, let me ask you, what other GDC news were you anticipating?
I don't usually anticipate GDC.
That's my point. I had one piece of news where I saw it for a few weeks ahead of time, and then a few days ahead of time, and I'm like, yes, I can't wait for this. I wanted to. By the way, the one thing you're looking forward to, we're canceling. We're not going to tell you anything about it. We're going to be working on the game because that's what we got to say, and that's it. I'm just like, son of a, like, I don't know. To me, I know what they're saying. We're working on the game, but to me, that sounds a little bad.
It doesn't to me. Like, it looks like they were like, hey, we're going to really aim high and have enough free time to come and explain all of this. And then they said, you know what? We actually need all hands on deck. And
that just sounds like a boss telling me that the place is burning down in the back, but to everyone stay calm. I don't know. That's just in my head.
Nah.
That's just how I hear it. I know I'm probably thinking too much into it, but I'm just like, what? You're just not going to show anything? Like, everyone's waiting. We've been waiting. You've announced this, and it was just like, guys, we're not going to be there today.
We'll get it at the Nintendo Treehouse thing instead of E3.
It's the kid who didn't just not only bring his homework to school, he forgot his backpack at home. So I'm just like, what the hell? I don't know. I don't know. And then you can be like, Johnny, what's going on at home? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, what's going on here?
And that's when Johnny says, oh, sometimes I forget my backpack.
Right, exactly. And I hope it's that.
Yeah,
I hope
I don't.
it's not a
Yeah.
domestic violence situation. I'm just kidding, but you just think, God, what's going on at home? What this is weird. I don't know.
Nah, I think it was just a matter of, we we shot a little too high with some of our press stuff, and it turns out, nope, we need them to stay here to work. And
That's good.
I think it's fine. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's cause for alarm. I don't think it's like the store I'm working at where we've hit the iceberg and a couple of us are holding it together with our bare hands and duct tape. I think it's just fine.
Yeah, yeah, Iris, I saw that. Um, but yeah, no, I'm actually kind of, I'm trying to take it with a grain of salt, or I don't know. I'm trying to take something good out of it. That this means I don't have to buy a new phone too soon.
Yeah.
'Cause as soon as they announce the date, that's when I'm like, okay, I need a new phone by that day.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
Yeah. But let's get into some more video game news. We got some Dead Island news, complete edition containing both Dead Island and Riptide coming May 31st to PS4 and Xbox One. I need to ask you a question. Have you seen the trailer for Dead Island?
I love the trailer for Dead Island. I
One-
thought it was the most brilliant thing I'd ever seen, and then the game sucked.
Yes. Okay. So we've talked
Yeah,
about that. But
that's I when I first saw that trailer, I was like, this is awesome. Like,
Yes.
I can't wait for this. I love this. And then I played the game, and I'm like, this is crap.
right. Like whoever made the trailer, he needs to be promoted and move on with his career.
Yes.
But everything else about it, it's like, okay, maybe you could totally.
Well, because-
you made art and then you made this.
And then they made a game that didn't live up to the trailer. The trailer
Right.
was fantastic. The trailer looked like a Walking Dead trailer.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what we got from that. But it was like, it's going to be open world and you can craft your own weapons. We were like, sweet. And then when you actually played it, you went, oh, wait, that's right. Games where weapons break usually play like this.
Yep.
It was like they said, hey, you know what? Let's do Dead Rising, but seriously. And
Yeah.
that doesn't work.
Nope.
And not just that, but the mechanics sucked. Like, the game, I'm sorry, I did not enjoy actually playing either of those games. I did not. Not Dead Island, not the sequel. Man, that to me is one of the biggest disappointments in my book. Just because that first trailer was amazing.
Right.
And then the game was awful.
Yeah, exactly. They made it look like it was going to be like, I don't know, like Dying Light or something. And that's a great game.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect to match up with that trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We got a lot of news here, a lot of Nintendo news. Do you
Well,
want to take some of these?
Let's bounce around a little.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Do you want to talk about Fable?
Sure, let's talk about this, because I didn't. This was something else. I heard about this and I was like, oh, that's right, they were making that game.
Yeah. Fable Legends. Microsoft announced the game cancellation, and they are shutting down Lionhead Studios. It says possible, but the only reason it's why they say possible is because technically there's some UK law where they can't technically break it down until they tell the employees like 30 days ahead or 2-3 months ahead or whatever.
Oh,
So that
okay.
yeah, there's some like law. So it's shut down. That studio's closing.
Wow.
It's just inevitable. And it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, and this is one of those things where Fable came out of the gate like, oh, this is great, and then it never met fans' expectations.
The spin-offs never worked.
Yeah.
Like the main series, like those 3 games were tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
But none of the spin-offs were any good.
Right. And see, I think the 3 main games they said they were going to do a lot more than it actually did.
True.
But they were still good. You're absolutely right. The spin-offs, when I saw the last thing at E3 like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I was like, that looks stupid as hell. That looks like an iPad game that would be great for an iPad game, but that does not look like anything someone would drop $60 on.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah, no, it was like they were trying to get in on that. It's not a MOBA, whatever they were trying to do with it.
They were trying to do like a Hearthstone thing with it, weren't they?
Not Hearthstone, not like a card game.
Didn't they do a Hearthstone style game though?
I'm sure they did. The game, this Legends was the one where it was like you choose a hero and you battle as that hero in this like small multiplayer map.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't even remember it because I was never a fan of the franchise.
Oh, I
But-
hit snooze. Like,
Yeah,
all the
like
time.
that, but that was just never my thing. But I know a ton of people that were like, Fable is the most awesome thing. So, all right, cool, you guys do you, whatever. But every time I saw like the spin-off stuff, I was like, this just looks bad.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't even make sense to do a spin-off. There's no like cast of characters that, it's not like uh, I don't play Sonic spin-offs, but at least Sonic and Mario and whatever, they have characters you can use, like Tails and, Mario with Luigi and a ton of other characters. It makes sense a little bit more if you did like, hey, we're going to do a MOBA with Nintendo characters. Sold. Like, people would buy that by the heaps because they know those characters.
Yeah.
Fables Legends was just like, that's stupid. It looked like they were trying to do like the League. I could be totally wrong, and it's not League of Legends, but it was like a Smite or something. That's what it looked like to me.
Are you looking for Gauntlet Legends?
Yeah, it was just weird. Yeah, exactly.
God, there's something I haven't played in 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. So, sucks they shut down. But
yeah, I always hate to see video game companies closed. Even if I don't like the games, I usually almost always hate seeing them go.
Yeah, I mean, I hope most of them land on their feet. I hope they all land on their feet, but
I hope Microsoft has plans for them.
Yeah, because there was a lot of talent there. So, well, we'll be back with some more video game news. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we are knee-deep into some video game news. We just talked about Fable Legends. Let's get into some of the news with the Nintendo Direct this week. Yeah,
there was a surprising amount of news coming out of this.
Yes. You want to take some of it? You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It started out with some Star Fox news. Launching April 22nd on the Wii U. Is this something you're interested in?
I'm always down for a new Star Fox game.
I'm not at all.
No,
I have zero interest in it.
These were games that I always loved. I remember, my first experience with Star Fox, I woke up from a nap one day and there it was.
What? Like your mom bought it for you or something?
It was my mom or my dad. Like, I woke up and it's like,
what if
there it
neither
was.
did?
It's like, okay, sure.
What if neither of them did and it just appeared?
That would be even cooler. Like, I would be even more excited for this because I would think that somehow my destiny was linked to this franchise.
Somehow.
As long as it continued, It's like,
let's write this down. A video game appears one day, sets him off on his adventure.
Hey, you know what?
It's called Spielberg.
Yes. Hey, they've made movies on dumber premises.
Yes. Exactly.
But and then come on, Star Fox 64 was a crowning N64 game. It was.
Yeah, no doubt. And I was excited for it, and I played it when it came out then. But this one just seems like the same thing. I
want
rails. Some of it. I don't know. It just doesn't excite me. But to each their own. I don't want to be negative about it.
I don't want another Star Fox Adventures.
Well, yeah, but I wanted not on rails, updated graphics. I don't like the art style of it.
Fair enough.
I think it needed to change. To me, it looked like the same art style of Nintendo 64, and it doesn't age well. And I'm sure it'll look much better than what I saw it back then, and it did look better when I saw it during the Nintendo Direct. But
I guess fair.
Right, I guess I've already come to the conclusion, especially with some other news coming out this week, and we can jump right to that actually. I've come to the conclusion I'm not going to be buying a Wii U. I'm going to wait for the NX. I think it's inevitably going to come out either this year or the beginning of maybe next. Because one of the biggest things I wanted the Wii U for was the Virtual Console. And now the 3DS is getting Super Nintendo support with a lot of it.
Yeah.
I am pumped. I immediately went on the store and got Super Mario World, which is amazing, which is one of the crowning achievements of the Super Nintendo.
You can beat Super Mario World in 6 levels?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think 6. You have to get to you have to get to 2-1, and if you find a way, I love doing that. Like that freaked somebody out when I was in my second year in college.
Oh wow.
I was playing it on an emulator and not glitching it or anything. No codes, no nothing. Just using the game's built-in shortcuts and everything. Because if in 2-1 is your first is the first chance you get to warp to was it Star World, right?
Yep.
And if you bounce, if you find the special exits in all of those worlds, you jump right to the keep.
Right. Okay.
And,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I did, because I was telling, like, I was playing something else, and I was like, yeah, I can do this in like 6 levels. They were like, bull. I said, all right, watch. And it's like 15 minutes. And I know it's like, oh, it takes the fun out of it. But you've got to remember, like, how many times do you think any of our generation has played this game?
Oh, yeah. And see, that's the thing. I haven't played it in years. Last time I played it was when I had a Wii and I had the Virtual Console, but I only played like the first world or maybe 2 or 3 worlds of it.
Yeah.
That's it. I've been having a lot of fun jumping in, flying around. The mechanics are just rock solid like they've always been, and I've been enjoying the hell out of it. And that's great. I mean, and soon, right in a few weeks, we're gonna have Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong right now there's F-Zero Pilot Wings in Super Mario World. We're getting Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario Kart, Earthbound. Never played Earthbound.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, which is a fantastic game. Super Metroid, Donkey Kong Country 2, and Capcom's announced a whole slew of games they're going to be doing. All the look like all their Street Fighter games that were on the Super Nintendo.
Street Fighter games, Mega Man games.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. So I can't wait to play all of these gyms on it. I hope Super Star Wars Trilogy comes out on it. Some of the old Disney games, like I want to play Lion King on it, Aladdin. This could be really cool to have on the go. And that's the thing, is that I'm always hanging out at my family member's house, and I love them to death. They watch a lot of TV and stuff. But when I'm there, I like to pull out the 3DS and relax with them. So I'm still spending time with them, doing whatever. But I have this in my hand as well. So I love it. And I've been playing Bravely Default. Remember that game that you got and was like, no, I'll hold off on it?
Yeah.
I love it. It's total Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah.
It is classic Final Fantasy. So if you're listening and you've kind of been bummed out about the last few Final Fantasy games because it's not the traditional JRPG, go play Bravely Default on the 3DS. It is amazing. The sequel comes out, I think, this month or at the beginning of next.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. It is an absolute, and especially for a mobile game, it is gorgeous.
Yep. Oh yeah. So I've over the last few weeks, I've been playing more on my 3DS than I have my PlayStation. I've been playing. I never beat A Link Between Worlds. I only got so far in it. I have Pokemon X that I still have to collect them all. I got Super Mario Land and Mario Brothers 2, and I have Pokemon Yellow, which I'm going through now. So I've been really putting in work in the device. It's such a great system. And that's why I've kind of just come to the conclusion I'm probably not going to getting a Wii U because I'm going to wait for NX. And I'm sure NX will be able to play all the Wii titles as well. So
yeah.
We had some price drops for. I don't think it's listed here, but there's going to be some. I think we talked about it last week. There's going to be some price drops on a lot of the Wii U titles. Ones that I remember off the top of my head were like the Donkey Kong Country. What was it? Tropical Blast? Something like that, yeah. Right, yeah. And there was some price drops on the 3DS games as well, like Ocarina of Time and whatnot. Because we jumped around, I'm trying to... Oh, yeah. Paper Mario Color Splash confirmed for Wii U for 2016.
Sold. Give me... I hated the sticker game. I really did. And that bummed me out because I loved Paper Mario. I loved Thousand Year Door. And then when I played whatever it is, sticker something, whatever it was, I really didn't like it. And I don't know why. Because it wasn't, the stickers just kind of replaced the badges, basically. And, it wasn't a huge deal, but I don't know. It just, something about it rubbed me the wrong way.
Right.
But
yeah, I like that Nintendo definitely does different things with their styles, like Kirby and the yarn,
epic
and
yarn
stuff. Yeah, I think that's really cool, and same with Yoshi and whatnot. They play the watercolors and whatnot. I think it's cool. So That's cool. We got Super Mario Maker to get a major update on March 9th. Now, I didn't watch this part of it. What was coming to it?
I don't know.
Okay, so there you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Super Meat Boy confirmed for the Wii U eShop.
Yeah, like 6 years too late.
You're right, exactly. There was an issue there with Sony or whatnot, but I guess it all
It
got
was
resolved.
it's because it's not a tremendously kid-friendly game. It's kind of like why Binding of Isaac is having trouble on a handful of different platforms. The
Oh,
Wii U in particular.
right,
Like it's not. It's like, yeah, I don't think so.
right,
And
exactly.
I understand their side of it.
Yep. Oh yeah. Hercule Warriors Legends Season Pass confirmed, 4 waves of DLC. And that's coming out on the 3DS, I believe, too, right?
Yeah. Warriors Legends is the 3DS version.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looked cool. I'm not in. I mean, Dynasty Warrior games aren't my thing. Rhythm Heaven Megamix is dancing onto the 3DS.
I threw that on there just because I thought that's so bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. One thing that did look cool, and for a second I was like, if that's really super cheap, I'd probably pick it up. The Disney Art Academy.
Yeah, but it won't be cheap.
If it's like one of the games you can just off the shop for like 10 or 20 bucks,
No.
I would totally do that. I'd sit there and color, And
I,
apparently they show you how to draw the characters, which is really cool.
I,
I love drawing. Most people don't know that, but I love drawing. So,
it's
that'd be fun.
it's gonna be a full price title.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll pass. I'll wait until it's 20 bucks.
Now and now I may be wrong. I may be wrong. I'm probably not, but I may be wrong.
And I was waiting. I was like, I see all these characters. Oh, they got Frozen. Are they gonna have Star Wars? No. I was so disappointed. I was like, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
But yep. All right. Universal companies building $350 million park expansion based on Nintendo, primarily focused on Mario in Japanese park. So it's not doing it in Orlando.
No, just in Universal Japan.
Jesus, come on.
Hey,
If I go to Japan, I'm not going to Universal Studios.
no, but the people in Japan
I
now will
know.
have a much bigger reason to go to Universal.
I know I'm being selfish and a dumb American. I know. But I did see some super cheap prices, some tickets to Japan though. It was a $500 round trip from Orlando.
Eh,
Or no, I'm sorry, it was 350 or something like
I
that.
was gonna say 500 sounds a little. I mean, you
I'm
can
sorry.
get a
I'm
flight.
sorry. It was 350. That's right.
Yeah,
Trying to pull it. Yes, it was 350 from Orlando round trip.
because you can get a one-way ticket to Norway from Orlando for like $90.
Oh, Norway, but not Japan.
Yeah, well, I'd feel more comfortable in Norway, I think.
Why wouldn't you want to go to Wait, why wouldn't you feel comfortable in Japan?
I don't know. Like I don't know. I like snow.
I don't know. I think Japan would be so cool. Like it would be so different. Um, Man, yeah, and there's so I don't know. I don't know. I think just being a geek and being into video games, I know that's a stereotype or whatever. I would from what I've seen in television and I just know I would like it. I know that it would be right up my alley. Some of the places I like how weird it can be, like in the things I've seen. I want to explore that. I want to go over there and see what that's all about. And I don't know. It interests me, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and it's beautiful too. Like Japan looks beautiful. You go outside of the city. But
I'll tell you what. You go to Japan, I'll go to Norway, and we'll compare notes when we come back.
yeah, I'm sure Norway is gorgeous too. I'm not trying to compare the two. My buddy actually he was stationed in Japan. He's stationed there in like a month or so, and he's really convinced me to go there.
Yeah, there you go.
And yeah, I absolutely want to. Let's see here. What else? What other new? Oh, did you see all the No Man's Sky stuff?
I did not. Tell me about it.
Okay, so everyone that is into like the gaming news and whatnot, besides us, of course, but they were shipped out to LA over the weekend to spend 30 minutes in No Man's Sky and to be shown the game. So the guys at Giant Bomb and all these other places were shown the game, and they came back with some news or whatnot. And I was listening to a lot of podcasts, reading up on it, and it was really cool. Like they absolutely loved what they did, and they were really hesitant on calling it a survival game, because I think that comes with the stigma of like, you're thrown a bone at the beginning and you're told to just survive, and like that's not what it is whatsoever. Like, you're flying in spaceships and you're doing a bunch of stuff. You have a gun that's like something that destroys things for the environment, and also, you know, as protection and attacks things as whatnot. The way they put it is the game's really all about exploring. And one thing they were able to demo in this that just wasn't really previously announced or talked about, what's really cool is in the game they're going to have monoliths in the game. These big stone statues. And you're not going to know what they are, what they do, what they're about, why they're there. But someone put them there. So there is some lore to this. There is some lore to this universe.
Great, the Forerunners strike again.
Yes. And so when you go to the monolith and you read it, one of the guys playing it said, suddenly he knew a letter. One letter, what it meant in a word of in a paragraph of gibberish for alien language.
Oh, so, the Albed primers from Final Fantasy X.
Yes, so you'll find it's exactly what it is. And so the more planets you find with that, the more of the alphabet you'll find, the more you'll understand some species.
Okay.
So that's just one hook that I was like, that is awesome. You know, that, and again, the game is more for people who are more accustomed to those kind of games. I think they're going to be more welcoming than people who are like, what do I do?
Right.
Where's my quest line? Like, this is stupid. I'm wasting my time. And it's like, no, like, the whole point is exploring. You're put on a planet, explore it, figure out what's there, the creatures, the everything, and then you gather gear, you get enough. Like, he was breaking it down to the point where it was like, maybe we'll have to talk about this come back, because I know we're coming up to a break. There's a lot more. Yeah, let's take a break. We're gonna come back. I have a lot more to say about it, and then we can kind of go into reviews. But yeah, okay, we'll be right back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we're about to jump right into reviews. But real fast, I kind of wanted to finish up what I was saying about No Man's Sky. Is that there's a lot of exploration. For example, when you're first starting the game, you're probably not going to be able to leave the planet immediately. You have to gather some things. You have to make sure you have stuff for your ship so that it can break orbit, and so you can go to a different planet. And in getting to a different planet might take 10, 15, 20 minutes. But on that other planet, you'll find something that can probably make your ship go a lot faster, so that eventually you'll be able to leave your own, solar system. And so on and so on and so forth. Meeting other creatures, meeting whatever. Everyone's going to start off on a planet of their own that no one's ever been to. And it's going to start like that. And, they fully expect people to be in parties in the voice chat, chatting with their friends, telling what each other are doing. And they also expect a lot of people this to be their game. When they come home from work, they just want to relax, open a beer, and explore a universe. And if that sounds interesting to you, that's what they're selling it to. It's not a quest-based system. It's not like, Uncharted. It's nothing like these games. And you got to remember, it started with 4 people making the game.
True.
They now have 12. This is about as indie as you could possibly get.
Just about.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. Keep expectations. It's a game about exploring. And if that's interesting you, fantastic. If it doesn't, might not be up your alley. But let's get into reviews, man. Last week, you talk about it. You brought it up.
Oh, our book from last week?
Yes.
Of sorts. Well, no, I want to hear what you have to say about it. We listened to the cast recording for Hamilton, the Lin-Manuel Miranda musical. I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I loved it. I didn't know what I was getting into. Mm-hmm. I honestly didn't know what it was about. I didn't know it was about Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I'm like, wait a second, I know that name. Oh, this is a historical thing. And I loved it, dude. Honestly, I never thought I'd say, like, I wanted to see the South Park one that they did. That's about as close to a musical or anything I ever interested into.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
Cause it's catchy, isn't it?
It's incredibly catchy. This is gonna get the crowd who I guess is kind of like me, who would not even think about a musical unless someone is shoving it in your face, unless
Yeah.
you're made to, and you're like, holy crap, that's really good. Um, I didn't expect it to be hip hop. I guess I didn't know that. Did you tell? Like it's like they rap in it sometimes. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
most of it.
Um,
Well, and that was his point. That was why he chose to write it, because Miranda wrote it as hip hop, and he said like this was how Alexander Hamilton survived was on his words. So
right.
what music is like that? Well, hip hop, the way it's supposed to be at its core, when it was still when it was just mainly spoken word. That was what it was. So what better way to tell the story?
Right, and it is really well done. I'm actually going to be going back to re-listening to it,
There you go.
because I'm sure I'll catch a lot more. I got a basic understanding of the story and whatnot, and I know the story through history, but I didn't know it to this level. You know what I mean? I want to go back and listen to it to kind of get the finer detail. But I absolutely loved it, man. This was a complete surprise. I was talking to my friends about it. I'm like, they thought I was crazy. I'm like, no, you need to listen to this.
Yeah.
Like, it is really well. Like, if this ever made its way, some of them have made their way to Orlando. The bigger ones, it took years or whatever.
Yeah.
If this ever made like a traveling thing and it did come to Orlando, I would love to see it.
You see why I've been posting about it like every other day. I can't,
Yeah.
like, that's what I do when I deliver. Like, that's what I love about my car. I've got a USB port, and I just plug the flash drive in, and that's one of the playlists.
Oh yeah.
And I just let it go. And
Oh yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Exactly. And I went I'll be actually going to New York this year, and I'm trying to see if I can do it around the time of Comic-Con, because I think that would be really cool. If I could somehow fit this into that,
Oh yeah.
that would be a great week. That Comic-Con and seeing New York City for the first time would be perfect. Yeah, I got some family that is trying to plan a trip this year, so that's what I'm gonna try to do.
There you go.
But yeah, man, I absolutely loved it. If you, I don't know, maybe in like a few weeks we'll, I really want to see the South Park one,
Oh, the Book of Mormon?
the Book of Mormon. I think it's like where you can actually watch it, like a video or something that you can purchase.
Oh, do they have like a? Oh, okay. Because I know, like it seems like every musical has like, and here's a video promotional package. And I'm like, well, then where's the DVD? Like, you clearly recorded it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is one that you can purchase. We'll find out. We'll see. We'll see. We only have a few minutes left. Let's talk about the book this week. It's going to be Stephen King's The Gunslinger, which is the Dark Tower first book. So to get ready for everything coming up, the news that came out, we're going to read the first book, and we might continue reading it later in the year, a few more, depending on how we like it. So this week, that's what we're going to pick. That's my pick. Stephen King, The Gunslinger. Let's go to some reviews. Real fast, what did you think of Walking Dead?
Oh, it's awesome.
It gets better and better and better.
It does, and like we're setting up now where we're starting to build towards what the next season is going to be about. What maybe the next 2 seasons? I don't know.
Oh, the next 5, I'm thinking. What is the how many episodes left? Do you know?
4, I think.
4. Okay. Oh wow, I thought there was like 1 or 2. Perfect.
No, yeah, we've got a few yet.
Awesome. You haven't seen 11, 22, 63, so we'll talk about that later. Division's fantastic. What I played of it, it is Metal Gear Solid had sex with Black Ops, and it had a baby, and it's a third person shooter, but it's with stats. So like you have to be tactical about it. You can't just run in and shoot; you'll get killed. It's cool playing with a group of people. I love that there's an overmap where you can pull it up, and you can see where all your friends on your friend list are on the map without even being in the group. So you're like, oh shit, Logan's over there. I could pop into it or say hi to her or whatever if you want to. You can turn that off.
Nice.
But I think that's cool. Anyway, it's a great game. Go pick it up if you like Destiny. To me, it looks like it could be even better. Stardew Valley is, I'll talk about that next week. It is like, oh man, it is like Harvest Moon and I don't know, a bunch of, it's like Harvest Moon on crack. It's amazing. Oh yeah, there's counter events. It's like Animal Crossing and a little bit of Zelda. Like it's really cool. Tell me about these movies. We got a few minutes.
Okay, London Has Fallen was fun. It's exactly like if you go into it knowing exactly what it is, then you're gonna enjoy it. It doesn't try to be like we're gonna do. No, it's exactly what you expect it to be, and it was fun.
Cool.
And Gerard Butler is a badass. Go figure.
Yep.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot was interesting. It's not. It's kind of it's billed very much as a comedy. Not so much. Like it's not, and I don't mean like it's not funny. I mean like it's more of a drama than it is a comedy.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't heard much about it until you just mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, it's definitely one worth watching. The big one though, Zootopia. Oh my God, go see this movie. I'm telling everybody, go see it. Stop, when you're done listening to us, go catch a late show. It's fantastic. What I love are the references. I love, there's a scene, Idris Elba plays the police chief, who's a ox, buffalo, something, big dude. And he's yelling at the bunny, played by Jennifer Goodwin, and he says this is not some cartoon musical where you can sing and all of your dreams come true. Let it go.
That's great.
And they do that so many times. It doesn't feel forced. But it's like, oh, hey, this is a thing. Oh, hey, this is a thing. Oh, hey, here's a scene from Breaking Bad. Like, it's fantastic. And they did this in a Disney movie. It's fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah, actually, I have a Tinder date this weekend, and she brought that up. And I was like, oh, okay.
Go.
And I saw that you raved about it, so I think that's what probably we'll do.
Go. I'm telling you. If for nothing else, then it is absolutely one of the best Disney movies.
Yeah.
Hands down. I want to go see it again.
Damn. Yeah, no, it has a 99 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I make it 100. Like
that is insane. I don't know another movie that's got 99 or stayed at 99 opening weekend. That's insane.
And when you go see it, you'll see why.
Awesome. Yeah,
sure.
And I heard it has a good message too, about diversity and whatnot.
And it's not just like crammed in there. It's not this thing of like you must like people. It's like, no, it's really well done. And the actual writing, the story is not. It's like, oh hey, we got to this already. Really, we're done? No, you're not done.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's so layered. That's what I love. It's not just hey, be nice. It's like no, there's another. Like it has layers to it. Stories are like ogres. They.
Right.
Sorry, that's a really bad
stories
joke.
like ogres.
Which are because ogres are like onions. They have layers.
That's true.
Fine, like cake. Everybody loves cake. All right, fine.
Yep.
Go see Zootopia. That's my message of the week. All right.
There you go. What else did I watch or play? I played some Digimon. It's not. Don't buy it. I thought it was cool at first. But yeah. So anyway, we're gonna get going. Make sure you go to our Twitter, which is at WeGeekPodcast, at Adam Estep, and at the Logan Witt. Our Gmail is wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. Facebook group We Geek Podcast, when I post a bunch of stuff, you guys can post a bunch of stuff, and one you can like. And we're a few weeks away from our year anniversary, and next week we'll kind of talk about what we're planning on doing for that. But of course, you can listen to us at We Geek Podcast. I'm sorry, you can listen to us at theend.fm every Wednesday at 9 p.m. And we will see you guys all next week. Captain?